Hello everyone, coming up here on our very first TNA Ring Report. We give you TNA on AMC. I meant to say, well, I pronounced it acting, but we're here with TNA on AMC. Its debut, it kicks off with none other than the phenomenal AJ Styles, as well as this the highlights for the matches. We have Frankie Kazarian defends the TNA World title against Mike Santana. Coming up. Let me turn this music down. Frankie Kazarian defends the TNA title against Mike Santana. AJ Styles, as you just saw, AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, makes a grand entrance. He returns back to his homeland. Homegrown star AJ Styles returns, as well as the inspiration. Vessels, the arrogance brand for the TNA Knockouts Women's Tag Team title, as well as a six-man tag team match as Elijah and the Hardys take on Order 4, Mustafa Ali's group. To get this and more, the TNA Ring Report starts right now. Hello everyone, welcome to this special first edition of the TNA Ring Report. I'm your host as always, Kendra Dix here. Glad you joined us here on the TNA Ring Report. Join in the conversation using the hashtag ProWrestling here on Connect, and don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend. Call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the TNA Ring Report. All right. We kick things off with this man right here, Mr. TNA himself, AJ Styles. I grew up watching AJ Styles when he was in TNA, the very first TNA in the Von Braun Center in Huntsville, Alabama. That's nearly where I'm at, in Huntsville, Alabama. They're cold with it. But I'm here. AJ Styles was a part of that first TNA pay-per-view in Huntsville, and AJ Styles is like the grand, he's like the Shawn Michaels of TNA. He's like the ring, not the ring general, but Rainier. Rainier has everything. AJ made a passionate speech and phenomenal speech as well. AJ Styles was glad to be back, and AJ Styles didn't be shy. He didn't ruffle up fellas. He ruffled even Frankie Kazarian, who's the current TNA champion, told him, hey, we know it's over 20 years, and I hope you're the one to get it done if you got to get it done. But, being a flag bearer, it took Kazarian 20 years to be TNA champion. Why he didn't try to go for it when AJ was champion? AJ didn't stop there. AJ visited Mike Santana and told Santana that he wishes that he's the one to take the championship away from Frankie Kazarian. He was rooting for Frankie Kazarian. Mike Santana, I meant to say. Mike Santana believed in himself, and Mike Santana is a true definition of what TNA is all about. Go out there and step up and do it yourself. That's what he did. Well, we get started with this right here, with AJ doing a political motivated speech. Well, motivated speech AJ did. As we had a huge six-man tag team match, the Hardy Boys taking on Hardy Boys teaming up with Elijah to take on Order 4, Mustafa Ali's group. The Hardys won, and you see right here Elijah. You see right here coming out there, he dressed as Elias from WWE. Now Elijah teaming up with the Hardys and the Hardy Boys, and Elijah get the win over Order 4. And this of tonight, what a impactful move tonight it was for Elijah to get the win as he did tonight. But the Righteous came out there and interrupted. And I don't know why Jeff Hardy likes to get stuff playing on his ear. I just don't get that, but that's Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy looks like, what's his name? Got his name from the Righteousness. You know he's from Ring of Honor, but he came and locked Jeff Hardy's ear, had a lock put on Jeff Hardy's earlobe. Jeff Hardy couldn't move. He had to, that was just gruesome, disgusting, but Jeff Hardy couldn't defend himself because he didn't want his earlobe to get put out. But he did. But the Righteousness, they're going to take the TNA tag team titles away from the Hardy Boys, and they're going to do so. We'll see if the Righteousness can get the job done and do what they need to do in order to do so. But the Righteousness send a clear, valid message that they're coming for the TNA tag team titles one way or another. Speaking of that, this woman right here up here, you may remember her, Sonya Deville. Now her name is Daria Ray. I'm still gonna call her Sonya Deville. She came out there in the name that she's the director of operations. She's gonna be working with Santino. We thought she was gonna just start off being nice and sweet, but she came out nasty. She did. She let Santino know that she's here to make some changes, and she said she's gonna do Santino's job better. Well, she made her first act by signing Cora J. Now she owns Elena Black, but I'm still gonna call her Cora J. So Sonya Deville and Cora J are both in TNA. We're gonna see what kind of devilish treason these two women are gonna be bringing. Both of them are real cunning and nasty. I can tell you that right now. And like they picking up where they left off in WWE. You can see that right now. Cora J coming away. Cora J making she's gonna be the assistant, but she's gonna eventually take over and become. She's gonna take Santino's job. I can tell you that right now. Well, speaking of Santino, the general manager had talked to Cedric Alexander. Told him he was supposed to have a match against Leon Slater, but Leon Slater having saying that he'll make it up to him down the road, and he'll be in the match against LA Knight. What's his name? Forgot his name. Joe Henry and Moose in a triple threat match. We'll see that match coming up this Genesis. Well, we get to the World Women's Tag Team match. This tag team match was saw that tonight as well. This tag team match came down this way. We saw it tonight as we had saw. Now that went down as well. But the Elegance brand won the Women's Knockout Tag Team Championship and done so tonight. What they did for the real cunning on the Elegance brand. I can tell you that right now. The Elegance brand did the Elegance brand. I can tell you that right now. The Elegance brand, remember Mr. Elegance. I had seen this dude before, but I was trying to put up the pieces to be like, what have I seen this dude? And I kind of picked up where I seen him. I saw him on the NWA. I forgot who his name was, but he showed up and he did what he did. And he called himself Mr. Elegance. He fits them all, Mr. Elegance. And Perez Hilton and everybody else tow, but it's Perez Hilton and stuff was in tow. So Perez, Mr. Elegance helping out his new crew by regaining the women's tag team title back. His brand is back, other than ever. He President Carlos Silva wine. President Carlos Silva saw that tonight. President. Speaking of the president, welcome back a former president, Dixie Carter. So Dixie Carter back into the fray of things. She just made a special appearance. She wanted to be a part of the celebration. Dixie Carter coming back, and Dixie Carter got welcomed back with open arms in TNA. So good for Dixie coming back. So that, as well as this right here. Solar Ruka Zario was in the house. Scarlett in the house. In case their abilities well. We just didn't know what they was doing here. Maybe they were just guests of NXT and doing what they need to do. But we found out that Zarya challenged Zane Lee for her TNA Women's Championship, the Knockouts title. So Zane Lee got some new challenges now coming her way. Zane Lee want to he is a fighting champion. She's a fighting champion, all right. She's gonna have to defend that belt against Zarya. Fighting up Zarya. Zarya is wrestling for the NXT Women's title and the North American Championship. Comes short But Mike wants some gold. I guess like Kalani Jordan and the rest of them into women's championship matches. Might, pretty most proud. We'll see. Dude, we'll see that coming away. Well, it's this. The main event. AJ Styles visited Mike Santana earlier to root for him. Well, he didn't like Frankie Kazarian back when they had back in the day when Frankie Kazarian had something going on. Main event was there for the TNA title. And guess who joined at ringside? Color commentator, former TNA champion Bully Ray. Bully Ray was down there to be the eyes and ears. Bully Ray did get involved. Bully Ray called it right down the middle. Just trying to be an observer, like he was a wrestling observer. Well, it was a hard-fought matchup, but we finally know who is the TNA champion. It was none other than Mike Santana. Mike Santana wins his TNA title twice. Mike Santana did so. Mike Santana did it by himself. Was no fanfare. I thought EC3 was gonna come out there, but it just wasn't. Mike Santana gets the job done, and Mike Santana is now your new TNA World Champion. Congratulations in order to Mike Santana. Maybe we could see that dream match between Santana and AJ Styles. What a match that will be. Two TNA champions, Battle Paz versus Preston. What a match that will be as well. All right, like we said, this is the TNA Ring Report. This is our first ever TNA Ring Report. Let's move on to Wrestling Hot Topics. We'll talk about this. We thought the Rascals was going to sign with TNA and stay with TNA, but the Rascals decided to leave, and now they're going to AEW. We'll see what kind of mayhem and madness the Rascals will bring coming to AEW. Still bring their that show, wacky edition. Only time will tell, but now we see the Rascals, see what they'll do. Bigger stage. TNA is now considered the third brand now, the third top wrestling organization behind AEW. So we see what kind of things they're going to be bringing. So, also, too, we're hearing that Powerhouse Hobbs had the WWE become on the main roster. I don't know why Triple H got they don't want to try to showcase black wrestling. I guess he knows that kind of help build his business. But Powerhouse Hobbs should be a good addition to the WWE roster, whatever show he'll land on. I expect he might land on SmackDown. Might see the test and him going to SmackDown. So we'll see what Powerhouse Hobbs is going to do moving forward. Also, too, Candice LeRae also appeared. Candice LeRae, former WWE Women's Champion, he was search contestant, made her appearance. I was thinking, like, what is Candice LeRae doing in TNA? She was sitting in with the celebrities in the plant. So, Candice LeRae made her debut. Well, we saw tonight, AJ Styles. AJ Styles returning. If AJ might get a future championship match, champion. So, Dixie Carter made a return. Dixie Carter coming back, just make an appearance, Papa showed his face, as well as a lot of people showed their faces tonight. Even Bully Ray showed his face tonight. Showed his face tonight. Him bearing the hatchet with Dixie Carter. That was nice as well as faces like Solo Roker from NXT as well. Elena Black, known as Poor J, Sonya Deville, down known as Sonya Ray. So, hey, we got a good start, a fresh start, new women's tag champion as well from the brand, the help of this kid. The Hardy Boys, won their match along with Elijah, as well as Mike Santana wins back the TNA Championship. It's a little bit of inspiration from AJ Styles. Styles being the inspiration he is tonight. It's all tonight. Well, that's going to do it for our very first edition of the TNA Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Thank you all for watching. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix, saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow for the SmackDown Ring Report Pro Wrestling Show on 5 days a week. Here, we'll see you later.